The Buddha famously said that life is suffering. I'm not a Buddhist, but I know what he meant, and so do you. To exist in this world, we must contend with humiliation, broken dreams, sadness, and loss. That's just nature. Each specific life comes with its own personalized portion of pain. It's coming for you. You can't stop it, and you know it. Friends, this is the Formless Podcast, episode 103, with Tyler, the superhuman, and me, Dustin.
That was quite the quote.
Dark. That was so dark and fitting. I should have read that in David Goggins' voice.
Oh yeah. So that was from David
Goggins' book. You can't hurt me. And if you haven't read that, I highly recommend it, dude. It's insane. His life was tough. It's not for everyone. There's lots of swearing, lots of off-color language, if you know what I mean. He's a military man, but yeah, he's it's pretty inspiring. But anyway, I this whole thing transpired. We weren't going to do this today. You called me up. You're like, hey, I just got done with what, your first guard duty for
first guard sign-up drill, yeah.
Like, which is the base, or what do you call it?
National Guard Armory.
The armory is only like 15 minutes from my house. So you called me up and like, hey, I could be there in 15. It was like, great. So, which totally helped me out, because I was just sitting around doing nothing, and helped change my attitude for the day. So that was good. But anyway, you're like, do you have a quote? And I'm like, no, but I can find one. I got enough books and we've got the internet. We could pull something up quick, right? So literally, I'm on the phone with you, giving you the address again so you can put it in the GPS. And I go to my bookshelf, grab a book, flip it open, like bang, right there. There we go. We'll read that. And it's very fitting for my attitude right now. And I feel a lot better about it after reading, because, quit crying, get to work.
We all have those days.
Yeah. It's hot. It's 105 today. And it's just hot.
It's hot.
It sucks.
Like, I'm glad we're inside.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in the garage. But, what's funny is we've had a pretty mild June. Like, upper 90s, pretty mild for here. And it's actually been pretty dang nice at night. Today, I think tonight's not going to cool off very, very much. It might be still 90, 95 degrees at 10 o'clock tonight. That's just kind of part of it.
I had to turn on the AC last night because it was so hot where I'm at. And I was just ugh. Oh, yeah. Hey, so what episode is this? This is
103.
103.
Because last week we did 102.
But okay.
Yeah, because we did 100 live. That's out. Tomorrow I'll release 101. Then we did 102, and this is 103.
103, got it. Okay.
Yeah. I'm pretty confident with that one. Pretty confident.
Okay.
We'll see. I might have to correct that in the notes if I'm off, but I think we're on 103.
It's okay. Pretty Sensei says, this is 103. So,
it was funny with the new job. I have a little bit more free time, so I was able to come down to Thursday night's class.
And how was that? Yeah,
it was cool. I got to help out. I got to do some grappling, do some weapons sparring. Just overall, in general, get beat up by a bunch of kids, teenagers and stuff. So it was really fun. But Blaine, Sensei Court, always plays a game with the kids. And not always, but generally tries to, if there's time, play a game at the end of class. And he played a game as Sensei Says. And basically, Simon Says, except for, Sensei.
Sensei Says.
Yeah. And he was working hard to get some out. Like, they were on the point and playing the game and paying attention. And he was, doing the whole auctioneer thing, rapid fire. And he'd get a couple out, and then the next round they'd all be like, "Oh, I'm on the ball now. I'm watching that." So it was really refreshing to see. It was really cool.
That's really always cool. A fun game.
Yeah. So I'm curious, how did drill go? And how is that all going to work out in your life?
Oh, it was just having rejoined the National Guard. It was they threw me in with all the new recruits who haven't even left for basic training yet. There was a few that had been to basic training but haven't been to their specific job training.
Okay.
But most of the people haven't been to basic training yet. And so I was thrown in with them.
Because it'd been a few years since you'd been in.
12 years, yeah.
You've been out for 12 years?
12 years. I've been out for 12 years. And so... I know, right?
Wow.
And so, and I got my E5 sergeant rank back. So I was thrown in with all these people that haven't...
don't even have rank yet.
They don't even have their private... they're private, just a private.
Yeah,
and E1, E2s, E3s, which is just a private, a PV2, and then a private first class. And so, they are. So it was just weird to be thrown in with them and me to be a sergeant, and they're like kind of totally intimidated, but not fully.
Yeah. It's all new.
It's all new.
It's all new, and here's this guy who's lined up with us probably, and he's got all of these other insignias on his sleeve. What's this mean?
Yeah, I haven't been issued the new uniforms yet, so I was just in like a National Guard PT shirt, like a T-shirt. And but anyways, while I was there today, I just kept thinking, I was like, man, okay, Tyler, or Sergeant Poke-Up. What you got to do is you got to empty your cup.
Yeah.
You just have to empty your cup. And like, it's like, I'm not starting over, but I'm like re-entering. It's almost like where I left when I got out 12 years ago, but it's coming back in, and it's been interesting just to be thrown in with the young people, the males and females who haven't yet shipped to basic training, just to see. I'm like watching them. I'm like,
they're greener in grass.
Oh yeah, that's a good way to put it. And I'm like looking at them like, was I like that? Like, yeah, I was, but I've obviously changed and matured so much since then, since I was 17 getting ready to leave. And when I was in, they didn't necessarily have that program they have now where you get all the new green recruits in, and they get they'll train 1 weekend a month for like 6-7 months before they have to ship off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, they had something like that when I was in, but I only went to 2 drills and I left for basic training, so I was still green.
Now,
like really green.
Was that because we were in wartime?
I don't know, either that or they just changed things around, or maybe that program existed, but it just wasn't being done
at that time.
Or maybe it was just in a slump of the program at that time. I don't know, but like I'm like looking at these kids, I call them kids, and I'm like, they're getting a lot of good prep work, because like the sergeants, the National Guard sergeants that are there that run that recruiting program, it's called RSP, and the RSP stands for Recruit Sustainment Program.
Okay.
And so it's kind of like your pre-basic training, where you go there and you do 1 weekend a month, and they start sharpening you a little bit, so then when you show up to basic training, you're ready to go.
You're not like, oh, what do I do now?
Yeah. And that's how people, if they join the regular army and then just ship the
throw
basic,
you right into
they
basic.
just get thrown in. But when you're in basic training and you're with guys that are in the guys and males and females that are in the Guard, the Army Reserve, and the regular active duty Army. So you're all together. It's all the same stuff.
Okay, so I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought they segregated you.
No, there's no segregation. It's based on because the Army National Guard, each state has its own Army National Guard. So I'm in the California Army National Guard.
But you're going to go to Georgia, which I always thought was kind of weird. For
Georgia,
basic.
Well, it's a refresher course. A refresher course, yeah.
Because you already did basic.
I already did basic training when I was 20. I'm sorry, I did it 22 years ago when I was 17. And so anyways, this is like they call it a gentleman's. It's called the Army. It's called the Prior Service Army Integration Course. And so if you've been out for a while, they bring you back in, and it's not basic training again, but it's just like a refresher type.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like, kind of like reorient yourself in the whole process.
Yeah,
again.
And like here's how things have changed, because like in the 12 years since I've been out, like things have changed. Like,
I'm sure.
Physical training, some of the stuff has changed.
The rules changed, the different exercises, different requirements.
Yeah, so some of that changes. So it's nice just to get a refresher on that. And so, but I have to empty my cup. And even though I'm a sergeant E5, hanging out with all these lower ranking younger people, it's weird. It's cool, but
I can imagine.
I can imagine. Really having to empty my cup.
Is it kind of like... So... Our school's broken up into, or at one time before COVID, it was broke up into like 3 different groups. You had like the beginner, the intermediate, and the advanced. Is it kind of like going back into your like first, like, no, it wouldn't be. I was saying like, so like when you get out of the beginner group and you go into the intermediate group, like it's a night and day difference as far as intensity and as far as like the subject matter and like how often we spar and all of that stuff. Right, it's like everything's kind of ramped up a little bit, you know?
Yes.
But I was going to say, is it kind of ramped up? But it's not really, because you've already done that and they're not doing the same stuff anymore.
They're not. Are you talking in regards to me, or just the Army?
Yeah. Is that feeling similar, or is it kind of like I've done this before?
It's a lot of like, okay, I've been here, just like go through the motions. It's like getting your black belt and then you've got to. It's like going back and like going over your fundamentals again. Like your white belt stuff. It's similar to that, if that makes sense. Like, because it's like, I've already done this. I've already been here. You just kind of like, okay, but then you use it as an opportunity to say like, okay,
what can I get better at my fundamentals?
What can I get better at? On our fundamentals. So,
I can relate to that. I've done a lot of fundamental stuff. Teaching new students, you do a lot of fundamental things over and over and over and over.
Over and over. The fundamentals are just like that's.
But that's why they're fundamentals, you know. So basically, it was just a day of kind of like a refresher course, kind of like, hey, remember this? This is how we do things. This is what's changed.
Yeah, I was teaching them a lot of the lower ranking males and females, the younger ones. Hey, this is how you come to the position of attention when somebody is in front of a formation and they say group attention, and you go to attention, and then and saluting, and how to do like about faces, like how you pivot left and right, and like while you're in formation, if somebody says right face and you turn to your right, left face and you turn to your left, about face and you do a 180-degree turn. So it was just a lot of teaching that and teaching things, and they were very grateful. They were very appreciative.
Well, I'm sure, because they're not going to be nice and basic. Right? Like it's going to be a little rough.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like some of the people, when you're in a military formation or like an army formation, one of the commands is they put you at rest. And so you're not as rigid. You can kind of move around a little bit, but your right foot has to stay planted to the in one place. I think you can pivot on it. Like you can pivot and turn around and talk to someone behind you.
That foot's got to stay in that one spot.
That foot's got to stay right there when you're at rest. And so while we were at rest in formation, a couple of the people sat down and they're like, well, we didn't move our foot. And I was like, hey, come on guys, get up. Like there's no sitting in formation. Like rest doesn't mean you can sit down.
It's not leisure hour.
Yeah. You're still
in the Army, man.
Yeah. It's like you can stand there, your arms at your sides, you can relax, you can laugh, you can joke within reason. You're standing there, but you're not like at the position of attention. It's usually given when you're in formation and you're waiting for
somebody to show
up, or somebody says, "Hey, hold on, I gotta go get this paperwork," and then they're like, "Okay, rest," and they'll leave, and somebody else from the formation will come up and take charge, but it'll just be real relaxed until they come back. It's just basically like, "Hey, take a break," not take a break, but like. Just
at ease kind of thing.
Well, it's if you're at rest, it's just like okay, we're gonna take 5 here type thing.
But you better stay loosely formed, yeah. Like you can't just all of a sudden disperse and be like, oh, I'm gonna go sit down. I'll go get a lunch.
No,
doesn't work that way.
So,
wow.
Anyways, so that's that. Yeah. So that was
right on
today. So it was just really cool to have a lot of the information that I knew previously come back.
And that was your armory that you were stationed at when you first joined, right?
22 years ago.
So that had to bring a little nostalgia.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Any of the same people still there from when you were? Oh, they're all gone.
No, everyone's gone, moved on. There's nobody. But again, I'm not. At this point right now, I'm not in with the actual regular unit that's there.
Okay, so the regular unit that shows up there,
they're currently
this is separate from them. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So once you go to basic training and then you go to your job training, then you're assigned to a unit, and if you're assigned to the Reading National Guard unit, those guys are then you drill on a specific weekend with them, which is separate than the drill weekend this weekend.
Okay.
This was just for the people that haven't gone to basic training yet.
Okay. Now I follow.
And so the Reading National Guard unit, last I heard, I think I heard again today, they're deployed. They got activated and deployed down in the LA area for the riots.
Oh. So they're still there?
Last I heard. If anything's changed or I said anything wrong, like please let me know.
We'll correct it on the next one.
Yeah, but they so they got activated.
Interesting. So then next month you go to Georgia for a month.
Georgia for the refresher course.
Yeah.
The prior service Army integration course.
Yeah. So that'll be
4 weeks.
4 weeks straight. No coming back. You're out there. Right on.
For 4 weeks.
Hang out in Georgia for a little bit.
In the summer.
The
humidity.
Yeah.
So
now will you have any time, like free time to yourself there, or is it 4 weeks straight of just guard duty?
I don't know.
Oh well, yeah, you haven't been through that. Yeah,
I haven't been through this one. When you go to basic training, they're like it's 8 weeks straight. It's when I went through it 22 years ago, it was 8 weeks straight. Every day you're doing something, either push-ups or you're cleaning the barracks or you're doing your training, rifle marksmanship, drill and ceremony, first aid.
It's real legit. I mean, it's the military.
It's the military. And then you don't have nights off. The only time you really get off is maybe 2 hours on a Saturday or something.
Okay.
And you get to go to the PX, the Post Exchange, like their little version of like a
store,
a Walmart or something, and get a candy bar and a soda, and you're all happy because you don't get that. But this one that I'm going to, this is different. This is half the time. It's a gentleman's course, they call it, and it's just a refresher course.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I don't know if I'll have time off or not.
Is it all physical training, or is
it like?
Oh well, God, see, I want to know all these things, Tyler.
Yeah.
How come you don't know?
I'll find out about it, but I think there's going to be some physical stuff.
Yeah,
but it's not like going through 8 weeks of basic training.
It's probably more like if if I had to guess, I would say it's probably more like a leadership course, because you're going to be in charge. And so like probably going over like rules and regulations and like, this is how you do things. This is how you don't do things.
Oh, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of that.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of that. So, but again, I don't know.
Yeah, so we'll find out.
I think it's going to be really relaxed compared to basic training, because it's not basic training.
Yeah,
it's a totally different beast. And so we'll find out. But yeah, that's it. And I just kept saying to myself today, I was like, man, this is so weird to be like hanging out with these people that have never been to boot camp or basic training.
I'm sure it was a little bit of like, really?
Yeah.
Don't do that, dude. I can just see somebody be like doing stuff that you're just like, that's not gonna fly. Don't
the time, like
that.
Oh man. And so when I told one of the guys, he was sitting down in formation, I was like, hey man, come on, get up. You can't be you can't be sitting in formation, you got to stand. And he wanted to sit there and argue with me, and I was like, come on man, get up. Like you're a big boy now. Like, you can't be sitting down because you're tired. You're not going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Like, come on, like, get up. And he finally eventually got up, and I didn't want to pull rank on him and be like, dude.
Yeah.
I am a sergeant telling you to get your hind end up, like, get up. And I was like, come on, man, get up. And so he eventually did. And I was like, okay, like I was close to pulling the sergeant stripes out and being like, get up. But I didn't.
That's funny. That's so funny. So I'm not going to name.
Got to keep your cool.
I'm not going to name names, but a good friend of ours was in the Marines.
Yes.
And one of the first things, I don't know if he ever told you this story, but he's told it to me a couple of times. But one of the first times he was in, was it 29 Palms? He was somewhere in the desert, and they had been doing some like navigation course, and they were basically up on the bluff of this hill, and there was another team on the bluff of another hill. And it was like in between, it was like 3 or 4 miles. And he did something, and one guy in charge on this hill sent him packing to this guy on this hill in charge, walking, right? Because he did something wrong. I can't remember. But the main point of the story is he had to walk back and forth in the desert. And it was like 100 and something degrees, like 3 or 4 times.
A couple of miles
before he realized, like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be doing whatever it was he was doing in the first place to get walking. He said he was pretty green at the time. I'll tell you afterward who we're talking about.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I know who it is. Yeah.
But yeah, it's lessons sometimes we got to learn the hard ways. You know. The folly of youth. The folly of youth. So, gosh, yeah. Do you have any stories like that of like having done something? Dude,
like
every day of my life. I've done dumb stuff, man. So many dumb things. Did I learn anything from them? That's the question. Some of those lessons I'm still learning, I think. Actually, we have a little bit of news on the Portland front. We were I didn't get a chance to tell you this. So the reason why we ended up not recording anything, or we weren't going to record anything today, is I was supposed to go up to Portland. You were going to do guard duty, or that's what you call it, right?
Yeah, guard duty.
Guard duty. Drill. And I was going to go up to Portland. So I made plans, did all of this stuff. I actually talked to Blaine about coming with me. He couldn't go away. He couldn't be gone that long. We were going to drive, just bonsai up there and back. And he wasn't able to do that. But he was like, hey, if you want, I'll get us plane tickets, because we could do the whole thing in a day. And then I'll be home by like 9:30 at night, because
fly up
his
and
family, and running the school and everything. It's just to be gone for 2, maybe possibly 3 days. It's without plan. I mean, this was all short notice. I called him up on a Sunday afternoon and was like, "Hey, next weekend, do you want to go to Portland with me?" And he was game for it. I wanted to send the offer. I didn't expect him to be like, "Yeah, I could do that, but we're going to have to do it like this way," So trying to figure all that out, and I'm looking at my bank account just kind of dwindle slowly. Like it's like the last little bit of water in the sink, just going down.
And then it goes faster. And faster.
Yeah. And I'm in between. Well, I stopped the old job, Frozen Gourmet, shout out to those guys, and started a new job. But in the meantime, the paychecks, I'm like, I didn't realize just how far apart the paychecks were going to be. So it was going to be kind of tight. And so and I made plans with one of the original students up there. We're going to interview him, do a podcast, which I'm saving that bit of information because that's coming. It's coming. But anyway, so I have a long talk with the wife. This is like Sunday night. This was after talking to Blaine, after talking to you, finding out that, you guard duty fell on the same day that we had plans to go, but it's all serendipitous, right? So I'm getting bummed out because it's just like, this is not going to work financially. It's just not practical. I'm getting all bummed out. And I'm like, well, I got to call this guy. I already made plans. We're set. Like, we're doing it. He's on board. Everything's going. I got the cars. Like, everything's ready. And then I'm like, I got to call this guy and let him know. I can't wait. Like, the longer I wait, the worse this is, the flakier this is going to sound, the worse it's going to be. So Monday, I just made up, just got it in my head. I'm going to call him and just tell him, I'm sorry, it's not going to work out this week. So I go to work, do my thing, take lunch, because I don't know how long this phone call is going to last.
Yeah,
it could be a 5-minute phone call. He could be like, well, screw you, you flake. I'm not going to ever talk to you again, which thankfully he didn't. But, I don't know how long bad phone calls could last, right? So I take lunch, go for a walk, grab my phone, call him up. The first thing out of his mouth was, "Hey, I've been thinking I needed to call you because this isn't going to work out this weekend." And I'm like, "Really? Well, that's great because I was going to tell you the same thing." So,
wow.
Yeah. Come to find out, he had some other family plans that he wasn't privy to when we had made our plans. And they were some stuff that he couldn't get out of. And, without going into personal details. Nothing bad happened. It was just like they had made plans, family made plans for this family get together. And it was I don't know if it was a surprise or supposed to be a surprise, but in conversation, it came up that like, "Oh no, you're expected to be there." And he's like, "Well, crap, I can't really.
I'm supposed to meet these people."
Yeah. So it all kind of worked out serendipitously. And so we'll have to push that back one more time yet again, but it's going to happen, and we're going to meet the dinosaur club from the original school, the original Wu Ying Mun school, and interview them and talk to them.
That'll be so cool.
And like I told him, and I told my wife too, it's like, well, this isn't a one and done. Like, we're going to go up there a few times. It's just got to work out financially how it's going to happen, and make that a thing. But it was just, it was one of those things where like you're dreading the unknown, and it's so bad that like I don't want to make that call because I don't, I hate letting people down.
Yeah,
and
no,
I can let people down without any extracurricular help. I can do that on my own all day long and twice on Sunday. I don't need help doing that. But when it's just beyond your control and I know the guy, but I don't know him, like, not like I know you, right? Like where I can call you up and be like, dude, I cannot do X, Y, and Z this weekend because A, B, and C. And you'll be like, don't worry about it. I get it. I understand,
This is the guy you don't want to do that to.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm trying to make a good impression. I'm trying to, and it was really cool. Afterwards, he tells me his story. I tell him my story and everything. And he's like, that's all right. We'll just be formless and it'll be okay. I was like, right on. That's right on the money.
That's like a tagline. Let's just be formless and we'll be okay.
We'll be okay. It'll be okay. We'll figure it out. And so I've been hanging on to that all week long. I've been hanging on to that because it's been a lot of that lately. You think one thing and then it's another thing. And starting the new job, which is kind of like learning a new language and figuring out how that whole process works. And it's quite complicated. So there's a lot of stress involved. So, but it's going well. It's a great group of people, great company, great stuff. You know how you think something, like you go to a movie and you think it's going to be great. And then it's like just different.
Yeah.
It's not that it's terrible. It's just different.
Different than what you
thought. You
thought.
had a thought in your head that movie was going to be a romantic comedy. And then you get there and it's a dramatic crime thriller. You're like,
I didn't sign up for
what
this.
Happened? Yeah. It's like not necessarily a bad thing. It's just different. Not to say that works a dramatic crime thriller because it's totally not. It's pretty mundane. I thought I was just going to walk into that role, sit down at that desk and just be like, easy street, right? It ain't easy street. It was just different. It's different processes and there's many moving parts and I'm getting it, but it was just like, okay. There's a third and fourth and fifth step in this case in between what I'm kind of used to. Okay, well, no problem. It's just one more step that I've got to figure out how to make and learn. And so it's cool. We're getting there. I felt like an air traffic controller at first. But it's coming together. So it's good things.
What was any of the thing you were talking about like flying up there or?
So flying up to Portland?
Yeah.
So, cause our local airport has a flight that goes daily to Portland.
Really?
Yeah. Now, I don't know how much it costs. I don't know any of that stuff because I wasn't even thinking that. Because we got a bunch of gear and I got a Honda that makes 34 miles a gallon. So I was just
it still might be cheaper just to drive.
Yeah. But in the 8 hours it takes to drive there from here versus and like how we were going to do it, I was like, listen, we'll leave at like 3:00 in the morning, 4:00 in the morning, power through, drive straight up there. We'll make it right at lunchtime, eat lunch, drink a cup of coffee or whatever you got to do the interview, and then drive home and be home by like midnight or whatever, right?
In a perfect world.
Perfect world. Right. Well, and to me, that's like half the fun, like having the adventure, having the road trip, just doing dumb stuff and having a good time. And that would be cool. Let's go have an adventure. Right. Well, that appealed to Blaine, but I think he was more of the like, you know what? I got to be home by a certain time. I really want to do that. That would be fun. I haven't seen a lot of those guys in a long time. So let's do it. But we can leave the airport. The flight leaves at 5 a.m. We can be up there by 9, be all said and done, and come home and be home by 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I miss one day instead of like 2.5 days and then be trashed for another day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
And he's got a different family dynamic and, things like that. And it's like, he can't really afford to be just like, I'm out of commission. Don't, I'm tapped out. Don't bug me, so, and I understand that's totally doable, but maybe in the future we could work something out. Maybe come August or September or something, we can work something out. Cause next month you're out, like Tyler's tapped out.
Tyler's tapped out for 4 weeks.
Yeah. Which is totally fine. Understandable. We'll work. We'll be formless and work that out.
Be formless. And
yeah.
change the plan and go up to Portland and
well, I don't want to go without you though. That was the thing. That was the one thing that I was bummed out the most about. Like, you're my partner in this, and I didn't want to do it without you, but I was going to. I'd begrudgingly go with a big smile on my face, but
still,
yeah, I wanted you to be a part of that and do the thing and have fun and help keep Portland weird. Have you heard that?
Yeah, I have heard that.
Yeah,
keep Portland weird.
Yeah, but no, I wanted to meet those guys and get them interviewed and get some stuff, get some stories because there's some good stories, and I've got a lot of footage. Videos that they've sent and pictures and stuff. I haven't shared any of that because I don't know how public, you know what I mean? It's when somebody shares a photo with you and that I want to make sure I got my I's dotted and T's crossed and all that stuff.
You're not sharing it that they don't want.
Yeah, they're like, hey, that was a personal family photo or whatever, but it's all kung fu related and karate related and martial arts stuff. So, but I want to make sure we're all kosher there before I start sharing that stuff because there's some cool stuff on there. There's some really neat stuff.
Oh, I imagine.
Yeah.
Stuff from the 60s?
Yeah. 60s, 70s, all the way through 90s, I think. I'm not sure. But a lot of tournament footage and a lot of, yeah, I'll show you some.
We're going to have to see some of that.
It's pretty cool. Well, yeah, but once I have permission,
Right.
I don't want to.
I know.
I have some footage. I want to share it, but I want to make sure it's cool before I just share that stuff. That's not. I wouldn't feel right. I'd feel just wouldn't feel cool. You know what I mean? Like it's one thing to share with friends, but like to share on the internet without permission. Like, it's funny. Hunter, or my oldest, when he was younger, like anytime we took a photo of him, anytime we shared stuff, he would get really offended. Like, don't share that on social media,
Really?
blah, blah, blah. Now he's like kind of getting into it a little more. Like, he has a YouTube channel. Maybe I'll link that in the show description. But anyway, he's getting more okay with it. It's part of life now. But at first, he was like really against it as a kid.
Didn't want his picture getting out there.
Well, yeah, for whatever reason. But so without permission, I don't think that without express permission, it wouldn't be cool. So
yeah,
but
no, that's cool though.
Yeah.
And so there's probably more where that came from, like the movies and videos.
I would think so. Yeah. That's the hope. Anyway, that's the hope. I want to see all that stuff and just document some of it. That's the goal. I want to document it. I want to have a part of that. I want to hear some stories, and I want to be like. The goal is to make this whole thing grow. Right?
Yep.
And
yes, it is. And further the art.
And further the art. And if we don't do something, then nothing gets done.
Nope.
So I'd rather do something and at least say I tried than sit back and go, oh, I wish we would have done that. That would have been really cool to go up to Portland and see all those guys and meet them and show, cross train.
That would have been so cool to do that. That would have been so cool. It's like, no, do it.
Yeah, do it. So and I have this weird like drive to go do that, like really bad. So I was kind of bummed when it didn't happen. I mean, I understood. I'm not like a kid that didn't get his favorite toy on Christmas. I'm not crying about it or anything. But I was a little bummed. I was like, dang.
Because that's what you wanted to do.
Yeah, this is like twice now. I've tried to make that up there or make this happen, and it just... I'm hitting this wall.
I told my parents 2 years ago I wanted that Red Ryder BB gun,
and they didn't get it for me. Now I'm going to go rob a bank because I'm mad at them.
Is that from Christmas Story?
That was just the first thing that popped in my head. No, it's just, yeah. So we're gonna make it go. I'm just gonna keep trying, keep going, keep trying,
keep going.
What else you got going on?
No, that's just, we're still advertising the movie.
Yeah.
Just trying to get the movie out there. and working on that. And I've got more movie ideas for the future.
Mm-hmm. And you're talking to people and trying to get
not so much talking to people.
Just still right formulating,
getting our feelers out there, seeing if like we can, what kind of interest we've got on potential other projects.
Yeah,
but we've really got to see how much money we make on this film, Miracle Mile, and how successful this film is, because that will dictate if somebody wants to invest in another film, right? Like nobody wants to write a check to somebody to go do their passion project. They want to write a check to somebody that they're going to go flip a profit off their money.
Yeah.
So
when it comes down to it, it is art, but it's also trying to make money.
It's a business.
Yeah. Which is tough.
It is. And a lot of things with art, it's got to be the business and the art side of it. Mm-hmm. You know, everyone it's usually the artist that's all about the art and how it makes people feel and all that stuff. And that's good, right? You have to have that.
That's kind of like the reason why people get into that.
The draw, yeah. But you've got to be able to flip a profit too on something like that. And
if you're painting paintings nobody buys, pretty hard to sell them, you know. You got to paint stuff that people want to buy. You got to make movies that people want to buy.
Yeah, what people want to buy, you know, people want to watch. So, but yeah, no, that's where we're at. But I'm full steam ahead on the next projects. You know, as far as like I'm motivated.
You're doing stuff daily for that.
Well, I mean, like I said, we're just like I'm full steam ahead, like in my own personal way, but like we have yet to really make any solid, definite movements.
Yeah, you're
on
not
that.
like, oh, this is the next film. You're in the I'm looking for.
I'm looking and I'm feeling like, okay, we're thinking this project, and this project. You know, 3 or so projects, but then, okay, well, we've got these projects we want to do. Now, how do we fund them?
Mm-hmm. And which one's going to be the most affordable one? Which one's going to be the one that people actually want to see?
Yep.
Which one is this one good? Yeah. Yeah. Now, are they at that point, are they kind of written or do you already have them written?
Some of them.
Okay.
Some of them are already written. Some of them are not.
They're still like in the idea stage.
Yep. They're still in the idea. And there's benefits to both ways, right? Like if you have a script that's already written, ready to go, and it just needs a check written for it, and then you can start casting actors and hiring crew members and securing locations. Well, assuming it's a good script and it's got potential, like that's a really positive thing.
Yeah.
To have a finished script ready to go versus only having an idea. But there's some flexibility there in the idea. So you might go and pitch. Yeah. So you might go to investors and say, hey, I've got this idea to make a movie about blah, 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 whatever the idea is. And the investors might be more interested because it's a good idea, but they might be able to have their input for when the script is written to change things in the story. Like you go with a story.
Yeah. Hey, I got this daughter of mine that really wants to be in movies.
Yeah,
and you got to put her in my movie.
Oh, I've seen stuff like that.
I bet. I can only imagine.
I have. And so, and again, I've seen that stuff and it's good and it's bad.
Yeah, yeah. I got a movie story for you that I just read this article on. So you've seen Big Trouble in Little China?
Yep, I've seen it.
It's one of my favorite movies ever. Do you know that was like a development hell movie that got made?
I think
You've heard about that?
I think I've heard of it.
It just was like in Hollywood making the rounds, and nobody was like, oh, we were going to make this one. And it was originally written as a Western in Gold Rush era San Francisco.
Okay.
And if you've seen the movie, it's not a Western. And it's not a Gold Rush era movie. That whole script changed and morphed from the original story so many times that like it's barely there's like zero resemblance, I guess. Yeah, you should check that out. You should look it up. It's I can't remember where I found it, but yeah, it was a pretty interesting.
And somebody finally looked at it and said, like, well, this isn't a Western.
Yeah, they rewrote it, and different people had their hand in it, and it like changed and morphed into the great cult classic that it is.
That it is.
Yeah, that's a great movie. I love that movie.
I haven't seen it in years. I need to rewatch
it. I made all of my kids watch it, and they were all mad at me because they didn't want. It's like some old movie that Dad likes, right? I'm like, no, you're watching it, or you got to move out. I don't know what to tell you. You're going to watch this movie, and they all like it now. We've seen it a few times. I've done that so many times with them. The latest movie I did, and it's really, after rewatching it, it's not that great. But Dragnet with Dan Aykroyd and Tom Hanks.
I haven't seen that in years.
Yeah, either. I watched it the first time when I was like maybe 9 or 10 years old with a friend of mine, and I was like, this is a great movie, we gotta watch it. And they're just looking at me like bored to tears the whole time. Like, what's wrong with you, Dad? Like, that was funny, that part was good, that's a good joke. It's like not that great.
Not that
it didn't last. It lived its life, and it
didn't age well.
It didn't age well at all. I think that one died about 1988, but I liked it, so I had a good time. But yeah, I do that. I do that periodically. I'll find something on Amazon or Netflix or one of the other streaming services, and I'm like, okay, everybody, we got to watch this. I've done that with the Goonies. I mean, and the Goonies, they love the Goonies. By the way,
yeah.
The Goonies, if they didn't, they put them up for adoption.
Yeah, that's just put them up for adoption.
Yeah, you guys got to split. No, so yeah, I've exposed them to some good ones and some not so great ones and some just downright terrible stuff too that I've seen that they're like, Dad, that's terrible.
That's like I used to think that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze, I used to love that one. I thought that one was like the best Turtles movie. And then recently
you got nostalgic and watched it again?
I was at my friend's a couple of years ago, and he had purchased it on Amazon Prime or something, and I was scrolling through his movies, and I was like, dude, you've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze? And he's like, yeah, dude, it's not as good as you remember. And I was like, no way, man.
It's great.
No, that's the best Turtles movie. And then I was at Walmart, I don't know, a couple of years ago, and I saw a DVD, $5 DVD.
Yeah, the $5 and under bin.
And it had all 3 of the original Turtles movies on it, and I was like, yes, I'm going to buy it. And I bought it, and I watched the first Turtles. Man, that movie is so good. That's a good movie.
It's great.
And then I got around to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze, and I was like, yep, he was right.
This is terrible.
He was right. It's not as good as I remember.
I don't remember watching the third one.
That one was...
That was even worse?
Well, yes. I remember watching that one in theaters as a kid, and it's
even as a kid, you were like, this sucked?
I was like... now I'm just like, oh, man, that one... like
horrendous, huh?
Oh, yeah. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 is a masterpiece compared to that film.
Gone with the Wind, huh?
So, but I had that... I had another realization too. Like when I was a kid, I loved all the Back to the Future movies.
Oh yeah,
still
they're
do.
Great.
They're great. And I used to think that Back to the Future 2 was the best one. And then the third one in the West, that one's fun and that one's cool too. But then I got older and I was like, I just realized this one day. I hadn't seen them in a couple of years, but I realized I was like, the first one's actually the best one, in my opinion, because it has that whole theme of Marty McFly going back,
changing his life, changing the kid,
but he's changing. He's like coaching his dad.
Yeah,
he goes back in time and is coaching his dad because he sees what of like a pushover his dad is, and like. He sees, and he sees him when the movie starts of how, he loans his car to Biff and then Biff totals the car. And then he blames George McFly and says, well, this and that.
Yeah, how come you didn't tell me it had a blind spot? I spilled my beer all over this. Who's going to clean this suit?
Yeah, and just totally blames George McFly.
Yeah.
Right? But then he goes back in time and sees what his dad is a pushover then and how he is kind of led into that, his adult version.
Yeah.
And then but you get to see him change and then change his character. Well, that type of storytelling is sorely missing from 2 and 3. It's not there. It's just not there.
Yeah.
It's that theme is not there in those two. And so anyways, as I get older, I just appreciate, I look like you were talking Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah.
You watch those movies you liked as a kid, and hopefully in this case you watch it and you like it even more now. Like, and some movies you realize, oh, they're not as good as I remember them.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the big mistakes I've made in watching old movies that I liked as a kid was probably 90% of them was on regular public television.
Yes.
Right? Or cable television with commercials. With edits. And more than once, many times, in fact, I've suggested family movie night of, some random 80s movie, and we start watching it, and my wife looks over at me and goes, honey, do you really want our 8-year-old to watch this? At the time he was 8. And I'm like, I didn't know that was there. So
I think you said you would see some of that stuff and go, whoa, I did not remember that was there.
And honest to God, I did not, but I didn't even know it was in there, but I had watched it on regular daytime TV with commercials and edits where all the R-rated stuff would have been cut out, So, there's been a couple of those. And now my wife's like, now, do you know what's in this movie? She learned her lesson. And then, life moved on. We got a VCR, and then I was able to watch, other movies. But yeah. Good times.
That's funny.
I've made that mistake. And I'll probably continue to make that mistake over and over again.
Like where profanity got
profanity, nudity, violence, all of the things that a young mother doesn't want her young children to watch. That I saw, some of it, not all of it, but I think how they edit, or how they used to edit movies for TV.
They did,
and you watch it and you're like, that's a great movie, and then 40 years later, 30 years later,
you see it on the DVD.
You see it on Netflix or see it on Amazon and start watching it, and then you're like, whoa, holy cow! Especially with a 10-year-old, it's not. Whoops. He's like, Daddy, what's, so and so. I don't know, son. Let's watch something else.
Dead or Alive, you're coming with me.
Yes, that was one of them.
One of them that you watched on TV and it was recorded.
Yeah.
And then you watched it. I bought it in high school when it came out with the 3-disc special edition of all 3 RoboCop movies. And then I watched it and I was like, man, this is violent. I can't believe my parents let me watch this.
Yep. And Terminator, there's a whole sex scene in that. Totally didn't remember that.
Yeah.
My kids do, though. So does my wife.
Oh yeah, and you're just but it's funny. Those are funny.
Exactly. It wasn't traumatizing,
right?
But it was my wife was I wasn't her favorite person in that moment. Yeah, I wasn't her favorite person in that moment.
Oh man.
But those are family memories. They were made.
And those types of memories that we have, those won't exist for your kids, in that they don't
access to it.
They have
so
access
different.
to the original version, whereas we had to wait until it came on TV or rent it.
I remember going to the video store every time we'd go and be looking for the latest movies. And it's it's not out yet. And you kind of almost wish it sucked at the box office so it would come out on VHS sooner.
And then you go to rent it and they don't have it in.
Yeah, because everyone and their brothers bought it or rented it. Yeah. They won't experience that, but they'll have something else to experience.
They'll have something else.
But it kind of reminds me of a point of that memories are weird. You remember something and then you watch the movie, how you envisioned it in your head when you remembered watching it when you were, 10 or 11 or whatever. And then like 20 years later, 30 years later, you watch it again and you're like, that's not how I remembered this happening. Like what? I missed that whole part. Or like you understand something more, or like, what did I do? Go get some popcorn or something when this scene happened? I can't remember this at all, Life's funny that way. Memories are funny that way.
That is. Yeah.
I experienced that a little bit today. I did a private lesson for a student who's getting ready to do his advanced brown belt, right? And so I hadn't worked on any of that stuff in a while. Most of the students I work with have been beginners, some intermediates, but for the most part, vast majority of them, beginners. And I hadn't worked with anybody lately doing a advanced brown belt. It'd been a few months since I had done that. I think TJ was probably the last one I worked with in any capacity, But this was a lesson, so I had like a half hour, 20-minute block of just one-on-one with this kid, right? And so I start rattling off a list of set work and stuff, and he's like kind of looking at me like, what the heck's the matter with you? And he's like, I already did all that stuff. That stuff's, it was for the rank that he was already, right?
Right.
And I'm like, so I tried to play it off cool. Like, okay, well, so what is on your set work? I'm testing you. You passed. So, yeah. I blundered.
Did he catch you?
No. I don't know if he caught me or not.
But you played it off.
I think I played it off pretty good.
What is on your test?
Yeah. I know. I think I came to. I think I came up and was like, yeah, I screwed up. It's been a while, man. Give me a break.
That's a really good thing that we can do. Like today. Today it happened. Like
I'm sure
with me, where I went and corrected somebody on how to hold their hands on something in formation, and it was wrong. Like I went and I for some reason I corrected a bunch of other people, and I corrected them the right way. And I went to this one guy, and I just got mixed up, and I told him to hold his hands the wrong way. It was at a parade rest and what you do with your hands behind your back. And I was like, no, this finger needs to go over this thumb needs to go over this thumb. And I told him wrong.
Oh.
Yeah, I told him wrong.
Oh, crap.
He actually had it right, and I told him to do it the wrong way. And then I kind of questioned myself, and then I moved on, and somebody else came over and fixed him. And then later on, I went to that guy and I was like, hey, man, I messed up on that. I'm sorry for that. That was my bad.
That's big of you, though.
Yeah.
A lot of people wouldn't do that.
They just like, hopefully he forgot. Yeah, or just didn't remember.
Yeah. It's best just to come clean. Hey, dude, I screwed up. I'm trying to be helpful. Sorry.
Yeah. And so kind of similar with like what you were saying. Like, you kind of were like,
oh. And I played it off, and then I was like, you know what? I forgot. Sorry. But it's funnier if I play it off. The story's funnier if I play it off and he buys it. Right?
It
like,
is.
I'm testing
It makes for a better story.
Yeah, it makes for a better story.
As a way for Sensei to cover himself.
Yeah. Well, man, how are you doing in the sauna here? Are you baked?
I'm baked.
I'm sweating.
I'm sweating.
My face is all red. I'm looking at myself in the mirror, or not mirror, the camera. And
I think I might have lost a pound or two.
Probably.
So.
And we're right at an hour, so we're good to go, man. Friends, what do you think? You're good?
I'm
Friends,
good.
Grasshoppers, it's been a wonderful Saturday. Thank you for changing my whole day and my whole outlook. I appreciate it. Seriously, no, for reals. For reals. I was just going to sit and mope and make dinner. So that invigorated me and got me energized, and I can go conquer the day now. So that's good. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Make sure, if you haven't already, subscribed on our YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or X, excuse me. Check out our website. We have merch on there. You can help us get to Portland sooner if you check out our website and look at things that you may like to purchase one day. Anything else?
That's it.
Until next time, friends.